Initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, guy next door.
Me, DK.
And Methan.
Did it work?
Oh, perfect. Crystal clear. Bringing you your fucking weekly double tap of all things Space Marines and Laser Force. You threw me there a little bit.
Dropping the F-bombs already.
You came in
a
loud and
professional
clear.
stream.
It freaked me out. We're real professional around these parts. I have all sorts of crypto charts and like NBA Top Shop things either side of me, so I'm locked in and focused.
All I can think is the fucking Always Sunny in Philadelphia board with Charlie Day, like going crazy, like her fucking ones and zeros up there. It's either that or it's like the Matrix, where it's just like the numbers and symbols like coming down the screen.
Yeah. So Dan, just before we
You're just
went
like
live,
blonde, brunette, redhead.
Anthony Davis, LeBron. Just before we went live, Dan walked in the room. She's like, "Are you live?" I was like, "No, yet." She's like, "What is this card a good deal?" I'm like, no. You want to look for this person and this person at these prices. One might say we're a tad addicted in this house, but that's all right. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to our only Laser Force talked about podcast.
Yes, we only talk about Laser Force on this podcast and never ever veer off into any other subject whatsoever because we are all about the Laser Force on this podcast.
Exactly right. We wouldn't dream of talking about anything else on this podcast.
Wouldn't dream of ripping off a popular show format from a rival podcast network. Not at all.
Exactly right.
Although I think rival was a bit strong. I mean, I love our subscribers, but I think we're a little bit behind.
No, we're only 1 or 2 down on
Million?
the numbers. Yeah.
1 or 2 million. Yeah.
No, you only talked about
by
Laser Force.
Laser Force.
I was like, what is BY Laser Force? Bring your Laser Force?
In Russia, Laser Force talks about you.
In Soviet Russia, Laser Force bring you.
So we obviously we're gonna get into what we're gonna talk about shortly. Steve, I woke up too early. Oh, dude, absolutely. I get it on a weekday. I'll be pushing it to get up before 8 a.m. on a weekday. This morning I've been up since like 5:45. It's far too early for me. It's a bullshit. I might have to have a nap. That's all right. And I went to bed late too because I was hanging out with our awesome community watching movies, which was real fun, by the way. Thank you everyone for joining us last night. I had a great time. Hope you guys did too.
So basically, Steve-O, so basically what you're saying is your fatigue right now is 100% self-inflicted.
Always.
And so therefore, we should have no sympathy for you whatsoever.
Why would you ever? What the fuck is going on with these lights? There we go.
What the fuck?
They've started. Oh my goodness. I'll get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or something because, you know, old people do that. Ethan. And
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
There'll be like a weird glow coming from the hallway. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And my lights will just be like, on, off, on, off. And yeah, so that's really cool. They've only just started recently doing that too. By recently, I mean the last couple of weeks. Far too early,
Stranger
Steve.
Things.
Far too early. Oh, Slam Man.
Slam Man, so many months.
Slam Man, 8 months. 8 months. Thank you very much for your support, your continued support, Manny. Appreciate it. It's very nice of you.
Oh, I love having the mod view. I'm just seeing fan added permitted term bitches.
Well, the thing is, like, so he even comes in and says that every time he joins the chat, and every single time he gets flagged.
Just like inappropriate.
Yeah.
It's like, well, and then really, it's like, have you met our podcast? You know, bitches doesn't really qualify, but okay.
Whoa, that's awfully sexist of you, Than. So,
God damn
Wait till
it.
Twitch finds out how often Australians use the C word.
oh yeah, it's up there. Right. So before we get into you know the thank you for the bits into the main pod. What have we got to talk about first? What's happening? Hype train incoming.
Train incoming.
Just go
Good, there's
Stu
some
with the
time.
sub. 8 months as well. Maybe every month, once a month, the hype train rolls in for everyone who's resubscribing, which we really appreciate, by the way. There's a hype train.
Good deal.
Sub, gift, or use bits to get to the next level. So if you want to see us go to level, I think our biggest hype train we've got to is like level 7 one time.
No, we maxed it out during the show that went the fuck off the rails.
Oh, that's right.
That show we maxed out hype train because chat just decided that chat decided that the three of us didn't need to do the show and just needed to keep throwing shit at us.
Yeah.
And so that was the show where for I think it was like 45 minutes.
Encourage them. Don't encourage them.
No.
As a positive, so because of their generosity, we were able to make a sizable donation to Nate's charity drive. Which
that is true.
If you haven't done so already, exclamation ninja in chat. Our boy Ninja Jack is raising funds for the Mental Health Foundation of New Zealand. If you would like to donate, please do so at that link. He has a couple more weeks to go, and we're hoping that he can smash that $2,000 mark. That'd be awfully nice. So any little bit that you can donate would be amazing. How's the week been, gents?
This week definitely, shockingly, this week was better than last week. On a multitude of levels, this week was better than last week.
It's good.
The mental health update this week is fuck you. You guys got enough out of me last week. There is no nothing new. So yeah, I feel like last week you guys got your money's worth. So no, we're good this week. In actual Laser Force news, because occasionally we do that on this channel.
Sometimes.
Laser Force, never heard of it.
I know, it's really weird.
To this great new game that we play. New
in quotes. Yeah. So the Nerd Sturgis Part 2 in St. George is in 2 weeks now. The update is that we finally got the price confirmed for it. It's still going to be set up as a string of members nights, so that's fine. It's still just going to be nice and chill and mellow and play some games and all that good stuff yet. And it's going to be $60 a person. So $60 will get you it's going to be $60 per person. That's going to get you unlimited games for the time that you're there. So yeah, I mean, for those of us that haven't played in a year,
that'll be like $2 a game max. So I think you guys are good.
Yeah, I'm definitely definitely looking forward to getting there and being able to play some games and see some people and do some stuff. So that's the the actual lasers portion of the update. So
do you have an idea of how many people are going?
So at this point, I think we're up around about the 20 mark. There's actually like 6 or 7 people from the Chula Marcos site going, because even though Chula's gone, I still most of the people that are coming up are originally from Chula, so that's fine. I know that Stalker's gonna come up. I don't consider him a Chula Marcos player because he's got more class than that.
They're all hands already.
Yeah, that's what I do. The few people coming down from Loveland, I'm going fair amount of people from Sacramento. Basically the entire Helmuth clan is making the trip. So we should have probably around about 20-ish traveling people, and then whoever from St. George decides they want to be there on any given night. The other nice thing with it just being structured as the members nights is, if people want to come down, they can come down. If they if they can't make it on a given night, but they can make it on another night, that's fine too. So we should be all good.
Wicked.
As far as that goes. Yeah,
It's
gonna be fun.
At the very least, like, seeing everyone is gonna be a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Was there? I mean, hopefully people come down. Hopefully everyone is gonna be as safe as they can if they do decide to make the trip.
Well, I mean, I actually ordered some of the Under Armour sports masks because, like, well, I have to do the risk balancing thing, and those just showed up today, and obviously not sponsored, not getting paid to endorse them. They're real fucking comfy. Like, Facebook showing me ads like 2 for $30 or two for $40, excuse me, instead of their normal $30 a piece, and it was like, fine, whatever. And yeah, they're actually really, really comfy. So it's like, okay, it's going to be nicer than wearing just a surgical mask, for sure.
Yeah, no, those aren't good.
Get yourself a gas mask. That's what you want. You want that high intensity training. Well, look, we'll no doubt talk about that trip once you return from that trip.
For sure.
Maybe even get you to, like, I don't know. We'll figure something out. But yeah,
we always do.
Usually do.
Yeah. I'm glad it's shaping up to be kind of a rad few days. I know that there's a lot of people that need it. So.
Well, and the other kind of nice thing is because we're playing in the evening, because of it being spring break week there, and okay, we're trying to stay out of their way as far as them making general public money during the day.
Yeah,
because
and
we're playing at night.
The facility because it is still COVID.
Yeah.
But because we're playing at night, like, I'm actually going to get to go to Zion National Park for the first time ever. This is like my 4th trip to St. George, and it's going to be the first time that I'll have actually had the time to make that trip.
That's a must-do, at least once when you go there, for sure.
You were, like, recommending it last time, right, DK? That's
for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I didn't actually get a chance to go last time, but when I went 2 years ago, basically for spring break, we did that, and I hiked Angel's Landing with Disco, Aiden, Autumn. It was a good time.
Are you going, Slam Man?
That's Stalker.
Yeah, that's Stalker. He's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Brilliant. Maybe we'll get you on as a guest. I don't know. We'll see. Right. Well, enough about that for tomorrow. We got
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from
matters.
We have gone. We've dipped our ink in the ink well for a 3rd time.
Do you dip ink?
You don't
dip the quill, buddy.
Oh yeah, dip our quill into. No, you gotta dip the ink into the ink to make more.
That's just pouring ink into ink.
We have poured more ink in for a 3rd time and stolen. I mean, stolen the format of a very well-known YouTube channel, The Ringer. They do a podcast called The Rewatchables on there. If you would like to see triple dip
Yes.
their ink.
I mean, that's fun too.
If you would like to see people who talk better than we do a better version of what we're about to do, head to YouTube and search for The Rewatchables on The Ringer. It's
also on Spotify and whatever other platforms.
Worth your time.
We're doing cooler movies because
Yeah.
they're laser tag related.
Stop transferring your ink around and get messy. That's right. Everything around me covered in ink.
Just make sure you clean up your ink afterward.
That's right.
With a warm washcloth.
We had a watch party in Discord last night for Your Legs Worse Than Grey's right now. That sounds like a you problem, my friend. Very sorry to hear that. We had a watch party last night in Discord. We watched Starship Troopers as a community, and it was pretty great. So obviously we've been talking about it for a few weeks, and we're very excited to get into it. Did you guys do obviously you guys watched it this week as well?
Yeah, I literally watched it today because this was a case of I thought I owned the DVD, and children, DVDs are physical media, and physical media is something that nobody uses anymore. I thought I had the DVD, so I was going to watch it earlier in the week, and apparently at some point during the couple of international moves and moving halfway across the country, at some point apparently it's gone missing. So I had to actually rent it from Amazon today to stream it to actually do my job and actually watch the thing so I could contribute anything to the podcast. Not that I normally contribute anything to the podcast. I figured I would try something different today and actually contribute. Down, mate.
That's all you. No, just jokes. How did you guys find it?
This ranks very highly on my guilty pleasure movies, for sure. It's objectively not a good film, but it's really fun. And hey, I'm a person who enjoys being a make-believe space marine, so it's just designed for maximum appeal to me, I guess. I think it's go.
Sorry.
Go.
No, you go. You were talking. I just buttoned in.
It's got like pretty good rewatch value, I think, because it seemed like it should just be a straightforward macho action flick, but it's actually a pretty hilarious satire on the young man goes to war genre.
Yeah, this was the first time that I'd seen this movie in it's been at least 10 years since I've seen it. And it was definitely one of those things watching like obviously there were bits and pieces that I didn't remember because I'm old and the memory starts going. But yeah, it's like there's a lot of cool little interesting twists on the standard tropes, and if you're actually paying attention to what the movie is trying to do, there's actually a lot going on, which is always kind of entertaining for what's essentially looked at, or at least was initially looked at as just kind of a mindless camp type movie. So
it's
we'll get into some of that coming up.
Seemingly like a really smart, self-aware film in a dumb action film wrapper. Like it's
you have just described Paul Verhoeven's entire canon right there.
Accurate.
It's at surface level it just looks like mindless action film, but it's like really smart, really funny, and like in some places possibly groundbreaking in parts.
But we'll look forward to hearing this.
We will get there.
Yeah. Should I do one of my patented recaps here of the film for anybody who might not be super familiar lately?
For sure.
Okay. So, Starship Troopers, for those who aren't familiar, it's the distant future, and humanity lives in a militaristic but otherwise charmed existence. They've got FTL travel, they've got nukes, they've got knives, they've got co-ed showers. Life is all well and good until, for no reason at all, the evil arachnid bugs attack these very peaceful and very war-obsessed humans. Johnny Rico is a dumb jock who wants to join the military. His parents say no, but his smoking hot girlfriend says yes. So guess who wins? Rico finds military life is not to his liking because there's a lot more people getting shot in the face and whipped like their name is Toby than he thought there would be. But wouldn't you know it, those fucking bugs blew up his hometown of Buenos Aires, so it's off to war Rico goes, joining up with his old high school government teacher, we've all been there, am I right, in the elite Roughnecks unit. Along the way, Rico learns about life, sacrifice, and one-sided love affairs with his subordinates. The film culminates with Rico's daring, but only partially successful attempt to capture the brain bug that helps direct their war efforts. And with the help of psychic Dookie Howser, manages to save his ex from the old brain drain. With the brain bug captured, apparently humanity has turned the tide of the war, and they can now do bug genocide good and proper, and they all live happily ever after.
Well done, sir. Well done. Nailed it once again.
I feel like the DK recap on any rewatchable we do literally is like the pinnacle of the show. It's set such a high bar. I don't know how we can, really
All downhill from here, guys.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here. Yeah.
Psychic Doogie Howser. What a
that's
way.
a deep cut.
What a great
That's for
way
the
to
80s
start.
kids out there.
Yeah, it's fair. I got it.
Let's start with number one. Let's start with the first category, which is...
Most rewatchable scenes.
What do you guys got?
Honestly, any of the massive fight / battle scenes, I can rewatch those. For one of the things that I was kind of struck by during this watch, and this kind of gets into what's aged the best. There's a little bit of overlap here. I was actually surprised at how well the bug CGI held up.
Yeah,
because this movie came out in '97, which for those of you keeping track at home was the year that both DK and I started playing Laser Force. Yeah, that was the year
there.
Yeah, that was the year Sacramento Lasers opened. Heavy sigh. Moving on. Yeah, pretty much. So a lot of times when you go back, pour out your Diet Pepsi. Nice.
I was hoping.
Pouring out a Beppis for the homies.
Guys. A lot of times when you watch, movies from, the late 90s, early aughts, and they've got any type of CGI in them, like you watch it now and you're like, oh God, why did we ever think that looked good?
In between like then and now, we've seen a lot of bad CGI over the years. Like I kind of had this in what's aged the best, but yeah, that part of it definitely holds up.
Star Wars
CGI
one. Like that came out 99, something like that.
What did?
Episode 1.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I think it was 98. I want to say.
And like that CG is
98, maybe 99.
Not great. Some of it holds up.
No.
Some of it is garbage.
Yeah,
well, I think about like the most recent Hellboy film, the one with David Harbour. That was really bad. Really bad. So it's not like we've perfected the technology and you can just use CGI to your heart's content.
Is nostalgia just some thick rim glasses, or were movies back then really better? I mean, they were pretty great. If anyone in the Southern Hemisphere or Canada have gotten Star on Disney Plus, just they crammed that full of nostalgic action and I suppose other categories, but it's awesome.
Yeah, so
Face Off this week was dope.
Nice.
Yeah, the action sequences I think are hard to like nail down. One's better than the others. Like I'm kind of partial to a big defense of Whiskey Outpost. I think it's maybe like the best action scene, but they're all good in their own way. So all of the big set piece battles are definitely visually appealing for the film. Those easily have to go on the rewatchable scenes.
I had the drop ships that dropping into Big K to Glendale, like that whole just watching them all like drop down onto the planet was awesome. Really, really cool. The thing is, there were a bunch of crappy movies back then too, but of course, remember the good ones. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah, we don't do rewatchable for the bad movies.
What's funny how often like the bad movies eventually become like cult classic films.
Some of them,
yeah.
Some of them stay bad.
I think my most rewatchable scene, if I, and it's near the start, so it's fine. But it's the recruit intake scene, where they were all in boot camp, and they're all lined up, and old mate Clancy Brown kills it. Absolutely kills that scene. It's so good. So good. Those are the B movies.
Am I funny? Do I make you laugh? Do I look like a comedian to you, son?
It's so good. He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the man. He's so good. What else did you guys have?
I mean, come on, we gotta say right off the bat, the laser tag battle. We all know this is why we're doing the show.
Laser tag battle's pretty good.
I mean, personally, I'm looking forward to that whole seizure effect where you get shot and then you're just on the ground like this. So I know that's coming in Gen 9. Get on it, Scorpion. We're counting on you. And next Laser Force Live, Steve, you got to run the flip 6-3 hole. So if you don't do it, we're going to be disappointed.
You'll hear me yell from the maze. Flip 6 keyhole?
3 hole.
3 hole. What
6-3 hole.
3 hole?
We have no idea.
I never know.
But it is the play that Dizzy and Johnny run like they're fucking Tom Brady and Gronk, and they just smash everybody with it. So
it's funny. Run at the guys holding guns, and then just flip over them. You'll be right. And then while they're all like marveling at your flip, shoot them. Perfect.
See, if Anakin would have just tried that, it wouldn't have mattered if Obi-Wan had the high ground.
You can't defeat me. I've got the high ground. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. So good. Yeah, they're absolutely getting a dangerous play penalty for doing flips in the maze.
Flip 6-3 hole.
Don't do flip 6-3 hole in a laser force maze, because you're probably
it's bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea.
Bad idea. If you high enough yourself, do you even need ground? No, you don't. You just float around. Do you guys have any other standout rewatchable scenes? I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, all the news and propaganda snippets are hilarious in their own way. I mean, Shawnee said something earlier. She said the movie's unintentionally hilarious in parts. I'm not sure how unintentional it actually is. I think it's pretty significantly orchestrated to be hilarious and self-aware. Yeah, more into that. Would you like to know more?
Would you like to know more?
Oh, you're going to know much more by the end of this.
Most of what I know about this film comes from our friend, Steve the Pirate, a.k.a. the letter X in chat. He joined us for last night's watch party and was a bundle of knowledge. It was very awesome having you in that watch party with us. Yeah. So, number 2?
Number 2, we got best quotes.
I mean, really, as far as I'm concerned, there's really only 2. I mean, there's a lot more, but the 2 that just, okay, maybe there's 3, whatever. Obviously, the would you like to know more? Because, I mean, come on. And medic!
Yeah.
Yep.
So there.
At a push, I would say, we get you, sir. Because that is something that gets repeated over and over again throughout the whole film. But yeah.
One of our league teams from way back in the day. So there was a guy at Sacramento who went by codename Rico. So one of our Laser Force Space Marines teams for one of our leagues was Rico's Roughnecks. So right before the game started, we always did the "Welcome to the Roughnecks, Rico's Roughnecks." Ugh.
That's awesome.
So that's in there. I'm partial to the enemy cannot push a button if you disable his hand.
Oh, I love that scene. Anything with Clancy Brown in it. Clancy, fucking stupid New Zealand accent. Clancy Brown. Amazing. So good.
Clancy seems to be a hard word to say if you don't have an American accent.
Yeah, Clancy just sounds off.
So I'm guessing there's not a lot of Kiwis named Clancy then.
No, I know.
Everyone would be like, just call me Bob.
Not Bruce.
Just call me Clancy, and then we just forever say Clancy. Did you have any other like?
I have 2 more.
Yeah.
one that I also like to use to psych people up, especially newer players for laser tag. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits. You don't do your job, I'll shoot you. I like saying that to newer players. I think it puts them in the right frame of mind.
That's right, especially if they're the medic. You want them nice and scared of you. Yeah, perfect.
Exactly. I also like the line kind of near the start where Rico's in his government lesson and Ratchak says, when you vote, you're exercising political authority or using force. And force, my friends, is violence, the supreme authority from which all other authority is derived. A lot of you I particularly like or agree with, but I think that's kind of a sobering take on like the nature of the state and politics, I guess.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So the leader action chat said also, come on you apes, you want to live forever? That's quite a good one.
That's a good one.
Smalley said that they had a local team called Death from Above. What a great name.
Yep. Since that was on their tattoos that they had.
Yep. Yeah, there was some explanation also. So Steve said that he, all he did was look up trivia on a website. That's all you need to do to impress people these days. Regurgitate other people's factoids.
Pretty much all this pod is.
Hence this pod, exactly right. You'll come away from this going, man, I was so impressed at those two guys, and also Steve was there. So number three. Number three,
we have a slight relabeling. We have relabeled this category as the Jaunty Than Award nominees for What's Aged the Best.
There's someone in chat popped up called Chokeslam Your Mum. What a name! That's great. It's a cool anime podcast. Thank you. It's the big eyes. That's how you can tell. Yes. What's aged the best?
I'm just having to take a moment that you've renamed the What's Age the Best after me. That's Are we sure about this?
Specifically, Jaunty Than. Not all Thans have aged the best. Only Jaunty Than has aged the best.
He's only like 30% shiny as well. So, this is a good percentage. That's just low enough. You don't have to avert your eyes. What have you guys got for this?
One is just the concept of Space Marines.
Yeah.
Obviously, this isn't the first film to do it, but the genre really does owe a lot to the book upon which this was modeled. And the depiction here isn't the worst as far as Space Marines go, as long as you dial back like the fascism a little bit.
Yeah, just a smidge.
A touch.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, yeah. That I've kind of covered some of the things that I thought have aged the best. The CGI has aged surprisingly well. Just going to reiterate that because it is worth mentioning a second time. Like I actually had a moment while I was watching it where I know that some of the effects, some of the bug effects were done with practical models, but not much. Most of the bugs that you see in this movie are computer generated, and even knowing that and actually like looking for it, it's like, no, that I think it was. I think there was some genius in the design of the bug characters, if you will, that they didn't try to overcomplicate them, so they look good with what's essentially a basic render, essentially. And so
except for the brain bug, which just looks like a giant scrotum
asshole
with a butthole in the front of it.
Yeah, it looks like a giant asshole. That did not age well at all whatsoever.
The puckering, so much puckering.
All the puckering, yeah, it's not great.
To the puckering, is that what that is?
Pretty much. So that and yeah, the laser tag section that obviously aged well for sure.
For sure. their stuff, but they're only running Gen 7 though, and they're, you know, they didn't have an ambitious enough view of the future to upgrade to Gen 8 at that point. Speaking of the visual effects though, this film actually did get an Oscar nomination for Best Visual Effects. So there you go. It did not get any other nominations that year, which is correct,
No.
but that's okay.
To be fair,
Really?
like I'm just quickly having a look here at other films that were released in '97. Man, '97 was a great year for films. There's some great movies there.
Like, what else?
Well,
just quickly.
To round out the top 10, at least according to IMDb, sort of by popularity. So Titanic, The Fifth Element, Good Will Hunting, LA Confidential, Boogie Nights, Mortal Kombat Annihilation is at number 6.
Out there.
Hercules,
I want that stricken from the record.
Hercules, the animated movie, Beverly Hills Ninja, Face Off, and number 10 was Starship Troopers. That's according to
Face
IMDb.
Off. Okay, a couple of those should be removed, but yeah, overall, it's not a bad list.
If you take out Mortal Kombat Annihilation, then The Lost World Jurassic Park.
I would take out Beverly Hills Ninja and probably the Hercules animated movie also.
I never saw that one. Men in Black, Con Air, Batman and Robin, Johnny Brasco.
You can take Batman and Robin too.
Liar, Liar.
Everybody chill.
Such a bad
Event
movie.
Horizon was that year.
Ooh, that
Underrated movie.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I'm looking forward to our rewatchables for Event Horizon coming up next.
that
If you guys want to roll right into an Event Horizon
Yeah.
rewatchables, I'm with you on that one.
In fact, let's just end this podcast and we'll go and we'll watch that film.
that movie, the first time I saw it, that movie fucking terrified me.
Oh yeah,
It's legitimately one of the most terrifying movies.
it's awesome.
Just straight up, just straight up terrified me. But
Yep.
anyway, we're getting afield. Let's bring this train back on track.
I'm gonna
Other stuff's aged the best. Making fun of government propaganda films. I honestly think about this movie a lot when I see TV ads for the US military, because they're also comically bad, but they're way less self-aware than this movie.
Yeah. I have so I wrote this down and then added a caveat. I put gender equality, and then after, because that came out like quite early in the film, and then once we got quite a ways into the film, I was like, ish. So
Ish.
like
The future society is, but our view of it in 1997 is not.
yeah. So like having mixed gender football team is badass, especially because like Dizzy is the best character in this film, but I'm sure we'll talk about that. Like unisex showers, that's one-upping the unisex toilets from Ally McBeal. There was a bunch of stuff that they did that was like, oh, that's like, this is still in the 90s, that's pretty forward thinking of them. And then there's a bunch of stuff that I'll get to in What's Aged the Worst. Zimmer's the best character. Actually Zimmer's pretty dope. Dizzy's up there though.
Dizzy's definitely up there.
Sequel.
I think she is the best character. I would agree.
Yeah.
My last thing for What's Aged the Best is Carmen giving Rico the turkey drop like 2 months into basic.
What the fuck is a turkey drop?
Okay. Oh, yeah. I need to explain that, I think, for a non-American audience. So the turkey drop is an idea in the U.S. that basically, like, you go off to uni, and then when you come back for Thanksgiving, so about 2 or 3 months into uni, you go back to Thanksgiving, you break up with whoever your high school significant other was, and people just call it the turkey drop.
Smart.
At least was what we called it when I was growing up.
The turkey drop.
Yeah. She's clearly way too good for him. I don't know what to say. I know we're supposed to like. I know we're supposed to like Rico as the romantic lead, but he clearly peaked in high school. So good move by her. Good move by her.
Yeah, if there was not a war, and if he wasn't from a wealthy family, he'd be working at a car wash, like straight up, or a like
really crushing that 35% on the math exam,
or like a men's review show, if you catch my drift. But yeah. If, like, the Carmen character is by far out of his league. As for Denise Richards, maybe not.
Okay, well, that's a good transition. Let's just segue right into what's aged the worst.
What do you got, DK? So she went...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go. You take it. You take it.
No. You stay on the same topic because we're gonna just get into that.
So, she's just not great.
It is not.
Oh,
great.
She went to, after this film, I believe she then filmed Wild Things. Which
Yeah,
is
we'll get to that for
was
Apex
after
Mountain.
this.
That's probably her Apex Mountain.
That's 100% for Apex Mountain.
And that's a very sharp peak.
Well, it's like Wild Things, Charlie Sheen.
Tiger blood.
Yeah. And then Charlie Sheen happened. Poor
Yeah,
Denise.
Poor Denise.
It's not your fault.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's in the in the recent tinted glasses. Looking at Denise Richards, it's not great. She hasn't aged that well. Killed it.
Like the gender politics line that you mentioned, test audiences and even the producers on the film, apparently they really did not like Harmon. They felt apparently that she was disloyal to Rico for choosing her career and or Xander as like looking to him as an upgrade.
Yeah.
Producers apparently also cut a scene at the end where Rico and Carmen kiss because it's an action movie. You got to have the protagonist kiss at the end. So I mean, that's probably a good cut though, given the alleged like love triangle angle. And poor Xander had only been, died like 10 minutes before that. So yeah, but weirdly, like apparently the reason it was cut was because producers thought that somehow made the betrayal worse, that she went back to him later. So I'm like, that's just like backwards 90 gender politics type stuff. But I gave my thoughts on that above. So you know what? Fuck the haters, Carmen. I'm with you. Fuck Rico.
I do love how he's like, just say it once. Try it on for size. And she's like, I love you.
It's not that into you, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I mean, did that feel good? It didn't look like it felt good.
There's nothing like wearing a woman down until she tells you that she loves you and like mumbles it under her breath. I love you.
And then instantly gets on a train and goes away.
Yep. He's like, yes, this relationship's on a solid foundation. I can't wait to come back to this.
So, going back to what I was saying about gender equality-ish, they did some stuff that was really cool. Again, Diz being basically the quarterback of her football team is like quite a big deal.
Yep.
To go from that to consistently promoting dudes over the women that showed way better leadership qualities. Like she was like, right, we're gonna run this play, and he was like, cool, and he did a flip, and everyone was like, man, Rico, you the man, you awesome,
you should be the leader.
Yeah, and he was, and then he turns around and says to her very quietly, I couldn't have done this without you.
I know, like, what an asshole.
Yeah.
Such a dick.
And then when he gets promoted, he's like, I suppose I'm
Yep.
gonna throw her, a promotion as well.
But she's not
Good
even the
choice,
first
though.
person. Yeah, she's not even the first person to ask. He asked Ace first, and Ace, knowing that he's already fucked his shit up once, is like, nah, bruh.
Nah, I can't do it.
Nah, we're not doing that. And so it's like, well, Diz, I guess, do you want to do this since my boy over here couldn't? Do you want to? It's like,
Rico's like,
yeah.
Oh, if only there was someone else that could possibly do this. Anyone.
She should have been running the Roughnecks from minute one. She would have had them all run flip 6-3 holes, and they would have just conquered Clendathu in like 2 minutes.
Dizzy's Roughnecks. Whoo. That's what it should have been. Cheers.
They'd call it like Dizzy's Dick Stompers or something.
Brilliant. Right, what aged the worst? This one was like
Stage the worst.
glaringly obvious.
I'm not sure this would really hold up to the modern standards of intimacy coordinators. Apparently, a lot of the cast was bothered by the nudity for the shower scene specifically, and only agreed to do it if Paul Verhoeven would also be naked during the shooting. So he had to direct the scene naked. This is another lesson for you kids. Never dare a Dutchman to go naked. You're not going to win that battle.
Yeah, you are going to lose.
He's
every
already
time.
undressing. Is that like, well, you have
Yeah.
to do it?
It's like, oh no. But it particularly doesn't age well with the complaints that Sharon Stone apparently made about the filming of Basic Instinct. So that's not really a great look in the Me Too era. For Verhoeven's part, though, like unsurprisingly, he found it kind of weird that everyone from actors to film executives had major qualms or problems with the nudity, but absolutely none with the ultra violence whatsoever. It's like fucking Americans.
Well,
I don't
that's
understand
such
you.
an American thing,
Yeah.
though. They're like, you
is.
can't swear, and we don't want to see any nudity.
No titties.
But bring out all the guns and shoot everything.
Shoot everybody in the head, blood all over the place.
Yeah.
Dismember people. It's fine.
Yeah, but don't say bad words. And
Don't say fuck.
We don't want to
Do not say fuck.
We don't want to see naked people anywhere.
Ever.
So Steve made a good point. And during the watch last night, he was like, "Yeah, all the dudes in that scene are strategically placed, so you can't see their guns."
Full.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's titties everywhere. There's no strategically placed titty poles anywhere.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, also, I mean, the way that scene is filmed, and with it just being so matter of fact, it's like it's a co-ed shower. And
that's how we
unremarkable to them. That's I think kind of to Steve's point that it's like to them, like gender parity is kind of the norm, and there's nothing unusual. Like it's not an inherently sexual situation, but obviously it is for people filming it in 1997.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess
the way
like
it's
also
filmed is fine. The way it's filmed is fine. The uncomfortableness of the actors at that point, not so much.
Yeah.
that
Also
one
along
dude
those
seemingly
lines,
blushes like the whole scene as well, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Also, what's aged the worst? People not understanding satire. I feel like I've had to explain this to too many people.
Specifically,
that this movie is a satire of the book and of this kind of society specifically. Like, guys, the characters are literally wearing straight up Nazi attire. The opening scene for propaganda, that is literally a shot-for-shot remake of one of the scenes in Triumph of the Will, which is a fascist propaganda film from the 1930s. It's really not subtle, and yet you can go onto any message board and stuff like that, and you will have a whole crowd of people saying that they really wish that life were more like Starship Troopers, and society should be structured more like it is in Starship Troopers because of them seeing it in the movie. I'm like, guys, that was meant to not say that was a great thing.
Yeah, you can only get basic human rights if you adhere to militarized life. Basically, you got to serve to get anything. But yeah, you're right. Like the straight up Gestapo uniforms during the funeral scene later on in the film. Carl walks in. I was like, oh,
LNSS uniforms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great.
Nah. I mean, some a little more lighthearted stuff that didn't age well. I mean, as you know, the CGI on the bugs, all good. The actual computer graphics on the various monitors all over the place, not so good. Just and
satire.
and again, it's just that's just a case of at the time that the movie was made, yeah, sweet, those graphics would have looked awesome, would have been cool. It just now we're guys like, yeah, well, that's DOS, okay.
DOS
so
drives.
yeah, so that was so that okay. Rico getting his Dear John letter on a mini disc. Mail comes on mini discs.
Yeah, it's futuristic,
no.
Man.
They had email in 1997. That was not like a foreign concept. You should have been able to broadcast that into the future.
Yeah,
good.
so watching that today when the guy comes in and is doing mail call and it's just like mini disc, you get a mini disc and you get a mini disc. It's like,
You can't
okay.
hand out emails though. That's ridiculous. Unless
For
like,
sure.
unless it just showed like forward from that one guy, then maybe.
Maybe. And I've got one more.
Shoot.
It's so the graduation dance scene. The music in that scene did not age well in any way, shape, or form.
Did you see the backup dancers? The backup singers?
Yes.
Oh, that's so awesome. They like clearly don't want to be there.
Yeah, no, there was like
we covered their hoodie.
yeah. The music, the music though just totally jumped out at like when that scene started. I'm like, no, this is fucking terrible.
This is the thing. In militarized fascistic societies, they clamp down hard on art. You don't get any good art, so music straight out the window.
Expected like Romy and Michelle to pop up in the background because of the music. And that one's for
I got that
you,
reference.
Yeah, that's for all you 30 pluses out there. I had a couple.
Sure.
Go for it.
Things that didn't age well. Handing out guns to children in a park. That didn't age super well. Thought that was amazing. Obviously, that's, again, that's satire.
Part of the inside joke, yes.
Yeah. Let's see. High school pacts in films. Which, again, was kind of like poked fun at immediately in the film. Like Carl's talking about we're not gonna ever see each other again, we're gonna be like light years away, but sure, we'll stay friends. Break. Let's see. Oh, this one's kind of heavy. Choking out someone on the ground by leaning on them with your knee, that has not aged well at all.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't even think about that one.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, no.
Like that's getting chopped from the network cut. On that one.
Yeah, let's just assume he beat up that woman and didn't choke her out with his knee.
Yeah, he just trips her and that's it.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like
that's the end of the fight.
That one was pretty heavy. Watching that was just like...
I mean, not quite that heavy, but sort of along those lines. Pretty much all white actors playing Latin American parts, that they're all supposed to be from Buenos Aires, and they're all extremely Anglo-Saxon.
Well, so I figured that comes out of like a future where like everywhere's become mixed race. But
we'll get less white, not more.
Well, no, so there was
these are recessive genes here, buddy.
There was like there was in the scene where they're all joined up to the military, there is a large diverse group of people in that scene.
I mean, in terms of the lead actors,
yes,
specifically playing people named Juan Rico, Carmen Ibanez, and Dizzy Flores, and they are all very, very white.
Super white.
Maybe that's supposed to be in keeping with the tone. Maybe they're like supposed to be descendants of Argentine Nazis. I don't know.
What really bugged me, actually, now that I think about it, when Rico is with his parents and they're talking about him like going to Harvard and shit.
Yeah.
They have the stupidest champagne glasses I think I've ever seen. It's basically a shot glass at the end of a stem. I'm like, you cheap fucks, no wonder you've got so much money. Splash out every once in a while. Yeah. Anyway, that wasn't what's aged the worst. I just thought it was funny.
That is kind of a funny observation.
Did you have anything else for that, DK? Did you have any other ones?
No, we'll get more into that later, especially when we get to recasting Couch. But it was certainly an issue that I was thinking of, especially because in the book, the characters are kind of much more explicitly non-white, since Rico is specifically, he's supposed to be Filipino in the book, as is presumably Carmen. Other than its really, really right-wing politics, the soldiering corps in the book is pretty diverse. It's the non-humans who are, well, dehumanized. Right. But humanity is all like one big happy family, that kind of thing. But we'll get more into that later.
Here for a moment on phone. Enjoy the stream. Excellent. I'm glad you're here with us a little bit, Maddie. Only shots for guests. Right. Where are we at? Number 5.
Yep.
So we've had another renaming. So in honor of the
say we
Triple Threat
take off
Tournament,
and
this has
nuke
been
the
renamed as the
entire
Dasan
site from
Kerr
orbit.
Heat Check performance, where the actor who wasn't
I
in a
say
lot
we
of scenes
take
but put
off
up
and
big
nuke
numbers
the
every
entire
time they
site
were.
from orbit.
We're gonna a string of nukes dropped by our boy Stallion.
I don't know if this will be a tough category or not. The scene, I feel like there's a pretty obvious answer, but it might also be controversial because this person might be in too much of the movie.
I had 2, and you probably got the same one. Who have you got, DK?
No, I'm going first way too much. You guys talk.
Okay. Do you want to go first for this one, then?
No, I've gone first on like half of these, so you go first on this one, Steve.
So
cool.
for me, I had either Clancy Brown or Michael Ironside.
Those are exactly.
I think Michael Ironside's in too much of the movie for this
They
category.
seem
Personally,
to both be kind of in a lot, like either front loaded or back loaded. Like, you know, they'll go for a stint of the film for, you know, maybe 20 minutes where they are in every scene, and then they don't make another appearance in the film, or you know, a brief appearance. Yeah. But they both, every time they were on screen, they killed every single scene that they were in. Like, they dominated.
For sure.
They were so good.
Brown is the correct answer here.
Yeah.
He might be in too much of the movie, but he's probably honestly my favorite part of this film. From the knife throwing part, obviously, is hilarious.
Put your hand on that wall, private.
And then like his kind of sympathy for Rico when he's about to be flogged with like the bite down on this son. It helps.
Yeah,
I know. I've been there. Like I also had to get beaten a couple of times. And then
the asshole with the heart
scene.
of gold.
Yeah, exactly. He is that to a T in this film.
Like, he straight up broke that dude's arm.
Yeah, without even breaking the sweat.
He broke that arm, almost murdered Dizzy, but solid dude.
Don't worry about it. He called for the medic straight away.
Yeah, no problem.
Medic.
Well, and then you can also make the argument for Michael Ironside, because I mean, that man just chews scenery in scenes that.
Yeah, he's coming up in a future category. I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm sure. But yeah, no, he's definitely one of those characters that, stuff that he's in, he's definitely he was definitely never a leading man. Like, he was always a support type character.
Was he usually the bad guy as well?
Frequently, yeah. He had a reputation for being bad guys. I mean, probably most famously in Total Recall, but certainly there are other films as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can make arguments for either of them. DK, I think you're probably right. I think Clancy Brown is probably the correct answer here, but I don't think we're completely wrong in saying Michael Ironside is a close second with that.
Yeah, I actually kind of underrated in this film, and he's in it for way too much of the film to be eligible for this award, but I think kind of underrated here. Jake Busey. I think he's actually pretty good.
So good.
I mean, this role is kind of tailored for him in a way, but not bad. Not bad.
He's a great sidekick. Great, like, ego psychic dude.
And he's
sidekick.
He's like that great character you have in lots of movies where it's just like, oh, this guy's going to be like the antagonist. He's the bad guy. And like, actually, no, they become like best friends.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So I had him in a
I have him in a different category.
Yeah, I had him too. Because I didn't know it. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Right. Number 6.
So we got for Clancy Brown Heat Check Award?
I think so.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Clancy Brown's our clear winner there. All right, number 6, another slight renaming convention. We're changing this to the Chair Throwers Overacting Award for the action traveled up to 100.
If you got him, throw him in chat.
All right, so for this, I've got I've got three. So one, Jake Busey as Ace. Come on, I mean,
But he doesn't, like,
he's
overact.
definitely
How
yeah,
does he
he's
choose the scenery?
he's totally overacting, and it's hilarious and it's great. The other two that I've got are very small pieces within the movie. One's from some of the propaganda after Buenos Aires is smashed. After the only good bug is a dead bug after they pan off the guy's dead dog.
Get the guy's dead dog.
Yeah, it's like the only good bug. It's like, okay. So him and his name is apparently John Davison. This was the advantage to watching this on Amazon.
There you
it's
go.
like, oh, who's this guy?
X-ray that shit.
Yeah, it's that guy. Cool. And then Timothy McNeil, who was one of the bug experts, also in some of the propaganda stuff.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's so for it's the two bug experts, male female, going back and forth, and he is just so like, there can't possibly be a brain bug. I am offended by this idea. And he's just
human dude.
Yeah, and he's I mean, he's just totally fucking going for it.
Yeah, 27th century Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, pretty much. So like
spelling as well, Glader. Well done. The thought.
Exactly. Yes. So I mean,
if smart one.
Damn
like those are my three, and I know which one I'm gonna pick, but I'm gonna let you guys do yours, and then we'll see if we can find a consensus.
Right. I had General Owen.
Okay. I have this in there.
Yeah, General Owen. He was in the film for what, 5 minutes?
Yes.
And he acted his ass off the entire time. It was awesome.
Okay. They got into Farley's mind. They want to know us. They can kill us.
He was manic. He was like terrified. Like just all of his, I don't know, any shred of dignity that he had
was gone.
And smushed into the ground. It was so good. Yeah. I had him, and for me, he was the clear winner because like no one else that had any more than one line was as manic or crazy as he was. Including Ace.
So if we're just doing this as a one-line reading, I think that's probably a pretty clear nominee.
He had more
somewhere
than one
kind
line.
of. Well, yeah. I mean, but it's a small part.
Very small.
2 scenes. Seems like
versus the other one. So, Than, in addition to the only good bug is a dead bug guy. Yeah. Also, the mom who's jumping up and down, like clapping as her kids are stomping on the bugs. Like, that was definitely
that's fair.
A+ scene chewing. I feel like somewhere in between the two categories of heat check and the overacting award, like basically every scene Michael Ironside is in. Like, that dude has no chill in this movie at all. He wants to throw it a million miles an hour every time he steps up.
I'll kill you.
Shoot you.
I'll shoot you. I would expect one of you to do the same for me.
Make it 20.
Cavalier about it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Clancy Brown, great moment when he makes that dude run around the barracks.
Yeah.
And he's like, move, you keep time. He's like,
Rusky, keep pace. Move.
Love it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would support the Marshall Bell, aka General Owen, for the overacting award there.
At least he was a named character.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a toss-up between General Bell and the Timothy McNeil. Like, they're both just overacting and going for it, and it's hilarious on both. But if you guys are gonna overrule me, then fine, fuck you.
Scene, I agree. The two pundits arguing about the intelligence of bugs, and I like when she has to like literally stomp on his foot to get him to stop talking. That was like my favorite part. I'm like, oh, this is just like cable news now.
Oh, it's so yuck. Just because you talk louder and faster than the other person doesn't mean that you were the winner. Stupid.
I thought that's how this show worked.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Mute. Right. Number 7.
The recasting couch.
Ooh,
All right, so I'm gonna be
Yeah,
straight.
you guys had a tough time with this one. We had our pre-show meeting.
by tough.
Yeah.
Neither me or Than had a single one.
Correct. So this one's all you, bro. What do you got?
Okay.
Bring
Yeah.
it to
So
us.
when I raised this, Steve, you had said, "Oh, but the casting is like so perfect because I can't imagine other actors playing them."
Well, because like they all seem to be like, character actors probably the wrong way to put it, but there's no one big name, or at least at the time, it's seemingly no one big name, aside from maybe Michael Ironside.
Yeah, I didn't even when they put him as a big name.
Yeah, like I don't know, because like every time
I think at that point he was that guy. He was it's that guy from Total Recall.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Or V, if you really want to go,
Yeah, or that.
deep cut.
But yeah, it all seemed like
he's not the guy from Highlander 2 because that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
But they all seemed like that it was just character actors. Everyone did a really good job, mostly. Amy Smart's in this movie. What the shit?
Yeah, bit part.
Yeah.
Bit part.
Sorry. Continue with your thought.
So when I was going into the research for this, Verhoeven apparently wanted to cast more age-appropriate actors, so people who actually could have been right out of high school, right out of basic training, rather than people in their
40s.
mid to late 20s, which all of the actors were at the time.
Yeah.
I think Dina Meyer, Dizzy, I think she was the oldest of the group. She was born like the late 60s. Casper Van Dien, I think it was also late 60s, early 70s, that kind of thing.
They were all 29. They were all
okay.
29. They were
yeah,
all 29
so all late 20s.
When they were filming this, yeah.
Yeah, definitely not high school kids, not people who were right out of basic training.
No.
So I was
MPH
trying to
looked pretty
narrow
young.
down some actors who would have been like in that 18 to 21 range to actually look for could there have been young actors. So we're looking for people born between 1977 and 1989, thereabouts. So I just did a quick kind of IMDb search trying to look for actors who were born in the 70s, stuff like that. See if I want appropriate. So let me just throw out some names that are in here, and I'll give you their year of birth. 1, Orlando Bloom, born 1977.
Are you going to put them in a role, or just...
I'm throwing this out for you guys. You can think about this after I get through the list and stuff like that, about whether you would put any of these people in there. Josh Hartnett, 1978. Chris Pratt, 1979. Tom Hardy, 1977. Travis Fimmel, 1979. That's the guy from Vikings and Raised by Wolves, if you're not super familiar with him. Jonathan Rhys Meyers, 1977.
Oh, really?
Jason Momoa, 1979. Michael Fassbender, 1977. I'm probably going to skip over Wes Chatham because I don't know if there's a lot of Expanse fans out there, and he was still in the Navy at the time. So as I was going through this list and just looking at IMDb, I was like, fuck, these are all, other than Jason Momoa, these are all white people. Come on, do better, IMDb. Why are you giving me only white actors? Literally, like the top 50 or 60 actors that was born in the 1970s were all white. So I had to do a little bit more digging. So I thought, okay, what if we actually look to Latino actors, something like that? So other names that I came up with. And some of these fall a little bit outside the range. Diego Luna, 1979. Oscar Isaac, 1979. Pedro Pascal, a little too old, 1975, but I felt like he'd be a relevant mention since, Mandalorian and whatnot.
Yeah.
Michael Pena, similar category, 1976. Most relevant.
Sorry, keep going.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
You're right.
Most relevant, and I have to credit Erica for this, pointing out that we have an actual Filipino-American actor could have cast as Rico, who's supposed to be Filipino. Dante Vasco, a.k.a. Rufio from Hook.
Oh, really?
Also born 1975.
He would have been awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
I think he would have been great.
Rufio's Roughnecks. Who?
Exactly. So that's who we have on the list. Any of those names potentially stand out to you for any of the characters?
Any actresses' names that you picked out?
Yes, I was going to get to that. Yeah, okay. I was going to do,
we'll do these
the dudes
first.
and I'm going to do the ladies after that.
I don't know. Like, Yeah, Rufio as Rufio as that Rico.
Yeah, he is
character.
Rufio.
Yeah, he's Rufio.
Yeah.
He's not Dante Basco.
Rufio.
Either that
Bangarang!
or he's
Amazing.
why can't I remember the name that he voices on Avatar: Last Airbender?
Oh,
It's okay.
yeah.
I'm blanking on
forgive
it,
you.
but yeah, that's probably like his most well-known role now. Anyway,
Michael Pena, I was gonna say would be kind of cool in that psychic role, but maybe he's not quite big enough. Like Ace kind of seems like he has to be a big, dumb guy that like gets emasculated when he can't lead teams. Full of ego and shit. So maybe he's not the right one for that. Pedro Pascal seemed like he would be pretty cool in that Rico role as well. He'd be pretty dope.
I mean, Diego Luna and Oscar Isaac are definitely pretty short, but
I don't know who they are. Who were they from?
Diego Luna you'd probably know from Rogue One. He's Cassian.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oscar Isaac, also most recent Star Wars, he's Poe Dameron. Also played Apocalypse in the X-Men Apocalypse, and is going to be Duke Leto in the upcoming Dune film.
Right. There was something you said from the white people list that I thought would have been quite good as that Carl role. But I can't remember who you
was it. Jonathan Rhys Meyers? I thought that popped.
No,
popped
but like
too.
that was surprising to me. I thought he was way older than that.
Yeah, right. Okay, so yeah, go through the list again. The first one that I did, there was Orlando Bloom, Josh Hartnett, Chris Pratt, Tom Hardy, Travis Fimmel, Michael Fassbender.
Maybe it was Orlando Bloom, because he kind of has that, like, I don't know, like the whole thing was that Neil Patrick Harris was supposed to be like the nerdy, weedy dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's so funny to see the nerdy, weedy dude bully the big jock guy in front of everyone. That was really funny to me. You're dumb at math. And everyone's like, he is dumb at math. Look at him. Dumb math guy. Yeah. But yeah, out of that list, I'd probably say him. I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
This is another one of those cases where, because the actors all really did a great job of embodying their roles, it becomes really hard to picture other people in said roles. And the last time I was at Dragon Con in 2018, I did a Starship Troopers panel that had Patrick Muldoon, who plays Xander, and Deanna Meyer, who plays Diz. They're answering questions, and like still to this day, they're just like, this was great. This was a really cool thing. We got to embody these characters. People still come up to us and are like, hey, you did that. Yes. And it was awesome. And so like with that type of kind of long-term cultural impact, I don't know. I'm having a really hard time picturing anybody else doing those roles. I mean, all of those names that listed to, I mean, they're all solid. I mean, and if they had been in the role, we'd probably be having the same conversation I can't imagine anybody else doing the thing.
And very early roles, pretty much for all of those actors. They would have been virtual unknowns at the time, which is, I mean, part of probably why they weren't cast.
So trying to kind of work my head around that. I'm like, I don't really. There's nobody that leaps out and my brain goes, oh yeah, that would have been awesome.
Jean-Claude Van Damme as Rico.
It's all very, very much. Yeah, I mean, I guess that could have been okay if that had been a thing, but there's no just like, yes, that would have been awesome type jump. So,
Who's the guy from
Chat says bring me Rufio.
Ron Perlman is Ace. That would have been wicked. Yeah.
To pick someone who's even older.
Yeah. He's like, hey kids, I too am just fresh out of high school.
Yeah, greetings, fellow teenagers.
Rangers, yeah. It's very much the meme I was thinking of at that moment.
Just as a side note, are you guys hashtag Team Carmen or Team Dizzy?
Are you asking us?
Yeah.
Oh, Dizzy all the way, man.
Yeah. It's not even a question.
Not
Is
even
there
close.
anyone out there you think was actually Team Carmen?
I mean, I still say that Carmen was right to dump Rico, but I wish her the best.
absolutely.
But Dizzy's way cooler.
Oh, she's way cooler, like, and way better for him. If only he could see the true value in his good friend Dizzy, the douchebag pilot. He was team Carmen, absolutely.
Yeah.
Xander
was definitely
Hey, leave Xander alone. We're not getting Xander's perspective on things.
That dude was clearly held back like 8 years in high school to be able to still be playing high school.
Playing with the other 29-year-olds in the film, you mean?
Yeah.
Let's go, kids. Ugh. Something that aged very poorly is the so-called tackling that was happening during that game. Absolute
Just shoulder checking.
garbage. All the titular characters are just like, boom, out of my way.
Hey, maybe that's the rules in future footy, that you play on hard-ass concrete when you get tackled instead of grass, because they're tough in the future.
Yay, go Johnny! I loved it so much. I love that whole scene. Sports.
Should have put that in rewatchable scenes.
Poor Diz only got 20 minutes with Rico. Yeah, if that.
At best.
At best. We talked about it last night. Like, 3 minutes and then he's probably going to have a power nap. Or, I think Glader said a cry.
Yeah, that's more likely to me. But I still crying over Carmen.
Oh, so it was funny when he said I love you to Carmen and she didn't say it back. It wasn't funny when Diz said it to him and he didn't say it back. She's so much. Both of those
Still fucked him. What the hell, man?
Oh, both of those women's far too good for that guy.
Yep.
But more so Disney.
Okay. Recasting couch for actresses. I agree. Dina Meyer's got to stay in. But other options that we have, people born in the same time frame. Rachel McAdams, 1978. Katie Holmes, also 1978. Jennifer Love Hewitt, 1979. Sarah Michelle Gellar, 1977.
So,
and again, if we're gonna look at actual Latina actresses, we have Michelle Rodriguez, 1978. Rosario Dawson, 1979, and Zoe Saldana, 1978.
Ooh, she would have been badass as Dizzy. Maybe not at that age.
Maybe Carmen would be more sympathetic if she was played by one of them.
She just like casually, soullessly smiles throughout the whole movie, and I really hate it. It's really just like, she just not into anything. Especially bug guts.
I mean, I think I feel like Zoe Saldana as Carmen could have actually been a lot more interesting than Denise Richards. I mean, but I think
more interesting than Denise Richards.
Well, okay, that's
welcome to the
100%
I Hate
accurate.
Denise Richards podcast. Jesus, Steve.
No, look, I don't hate anything, but I'm definitely not Team Carmen.
This is one thing we've learned.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know some people are going to say, oh, well, they would have been way too young in those roles, but that's kind of the point, is that if these are supposed to be people who are just out of high school or having to make these life and death decisions, then yeah, they would be people who are very young at the time.
Anyone would have been more interesting than Denise Richards. Yeah, what you do, right, is you get Amy Smart and you give her a sock puppet, right? And then that's probably going to be more interesting. It'll at least feel like it has more of a soul.
Poor Denise Richards.
Poor Denise Richards. She didn't deserve fucking tiger blood. Dina Myers, Casper Van Dien, and Brenda Strong were the only actors to come back for subsequent films. What subsequent films?
Yeah, I don't think we've mentioned in What's Age the Worst. We don't need to talk about the sequels.
Put Steve in a dress way better. Absolutely.
Was Brenda Strong only in flashbacks for the sequels then? Because she dies.
Who's Brenda Strong?
That's Captain Delaudier. She gets crushed by the door.
Oh, yeah.
So she'd have to be flashbacks, and I mean Dina Myers would have to be flashbacks too, because I mean,
yeah,
she did.
Seemingly, she
it's funny
was
how that works.
Target Xena Warrior Princess. She's the Kmart brand Xena Warrior Princess. Is whatever her name.
I think of her as Sue Ellen Mishke from Seinfeld, the woman who doesn't wear a bra ever.
Don't know. Never watched Seinfeld.
Yeah, you weren't Seinfeld fans. All right.
Dina Myers' hallucination in the fifth film. That's rad.
Fifth film? Jesus
yeah, there were
Christ.
5. Yeah.
Good lord. I think I watched 20 minutes of the second film, and that was it.
What second film? Anything else you guys want to add to that?
Nah, I think this is one of those that
Number 8.
We're good.
Okay, half-assed internet research. I got a lot here. So
okay, well, I've got one main thing, and it is actually the reason why I'm wearing this beanie today and not my normal one, because the armor that the mobile infantry is using gets reused in an episode of Firefly called The Train Job. So it was like, hey, there's a little bit of a tie-in. I'm gonna wear this beanie today. That, and I can't find my Resupply one, and I'm really pissed off. So it was a good excuse to.
It's with your Starship Troopers DVD.
Yeah.
So more than likely.
Yeah. I have according to Glader. Oh, what's happening? Thunder has just been resupplied. Thank you so much. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Yes, we were talking about the upcoming Utah event.
I mean, yeah, it should be a goodie too.
I don't know if that's Thunder or if that's a different Thunder.
Could be a different Thunder. Hello, Thunder. If it is Thunder,
we have fake Thunders, fake DKs, fake Steves. We have all kinds of fake people.
Fake ass shit, fake ass Denise Richards right here. So. According to Glader, they wouldn't shoot the shower scene unless the director was also. Oh wait, you already did that one.
Yes.
According to Steve the Pirate.
Yeah, that is definitely Thunder. That's Brandon.
It is awesome.
Yeah,
it's Thunder. What up, Thunder? Nice to see you. 17 gallons of blood used in this movie. Apparently,
seems like a conservative estimate to me.
1,700 gallons. Apparently, I was going to say Gary Busey. Jake Busey learned to play the violin for this role, apparently.
Good for the 20 seconds that he plays the violin in the movie. I'm glad he took those lessons.
It sounds so good, though, like the crazy synth violin. Love it every time. Apparently, the guns weighed 22 pounds, and the armor weighed 32 pounds.
That is not very combat effective.
No, and for Rico to jump from that cliff onto the tank bug, and do that without missing a beat, pretty impressive, mate. Pretty impressive.
Apparently, he broke a rib doing that too. So,
did he?
Yeah. So that's fun.
And the last interesting fact is that even though he is really not into blood and guts, our good friend Night Owl has watched this movie. So there you go. I didn't even have to look up on IMDb for that one. So yeah, you're welcome, audience. Interesting.
If that had been on IMDb, that would have been real fucking impressive, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Night Owl has watched this movie.
I'm gonna add that to the Wikipedia page. What do you got, DK?
Okay, so I kind of want to dive in with differences with the book, since that is a major topic, since this is based on a Robert Heinlein book from 1959 that won the Hugo Award the following year.
Wait. Hold that thought. All you need now is to smoke weed, and now it would be the Boys podcast. Thank you very much, Ace Viper. That's a very, very good point on the whole thing.
Action probably would be better with a little cannabis.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I don't understand what's going on, but I love it.
But basically, with the book, there's a total tonal difference between book and film. I actually meant to reread the book in prep for this week, but I kind of ran out of time because I had schoolwork and stuff to do.
Lazy.
So I'm going off A, memory, and B, the World Wide Web. I've only read the book twice. I read it once basically when the film came out, which I was in 7th grade at the time, maybe. And then I read it again in college and had pretty different takes on them.
Which one?
After that.
Which one of us is Jeremy Clarkson's son?
I don't know if it's me because of the hair. That's a little... Don't know if I'm a fan of that.
Unless I read that wrong.
But the film is total satire. The book is very much not. Heinlein wrote it immediately after the U.S. suspended nuclear tests in 1959. And Heinlein takes this very, very serious Cold War realist, neoconservative point of view in the book. And you can make a pretty good case that it's straight up militarist.
Yeah.
I'd argue it doesn't cross into like hard fascism, but that's a
I say we take
cerebral
off
discussion
and
for another
nuke the
time.
entire
But
site
there's
from
throughout the
orbit.
book, there's all these explicit attacks on Karl Marx, on Plato's Republic, all these other utopian writing. It's like super, super right wing for science fiction.
Do you think maybe the hardcore fascism came to implement what they have now, and they just eased up on it a little bit?
I mean, it's kind of possible. It's like it's very typical like Cold War stuff. The whole crux of the book, it seems like for Heinlein, is essentially that American society it's become way too permissive. You wrote like about juvenile delinquency in the 50s because the 50s known to be a very permissive decade, right? As things go, everybody knows that was where American society really started to crumble. But then American society was getting like too permissive and too soft to stand up to the commies. So that was a very different tone in the book, and Verhoeven was essentially making fun of that perspective throughout the entire film. That's why he takes this very satirical line through all of it. Michael Ironside apparently asked Verhoeven, because Verhoeven lived through the Nazi-occupied Netherlands when he was a young child. He was born, I think, in 1938, 1939. So he was a young child when the Nazis were occupying the Netherlands. So Michael Ironside,
he was very nearly collateral damage is basically how it's described.
Mm-hmm.
Him growing up. So yeah, it's a thing.
Apparently, Michael Ironside asked him why, after reading the script, he's like, "Why are you making this right-wing fascist movie?" And Verhoeven had said in interviews basically that he said that the sort of idea is that war makes fascists of everybody, and he also commented to Ironside that if I tell the world that a right-wing fascist way of doing things doesn't work, no one will listen to me. So I'm going to make a perfect fascist world. Everyone is beautiful, everything is shiny, everything has big guns and fancy ships, but it's only good for killing fucking bugs. There's no joy to be had in anything else in the film. It's literally all their society is geared for.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of serious take. Other little bits that we have, like a lot of directors, Paul Verhoeven used a lot of people from his previous films. Michael Ironside and Marshall Bell and Dean Norris, all of them were in alums of Total Recall. Marshall Bell probably be remembered more as Quado in Total Recall.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. The screenwriter, Ed Neumeyer, also worked with Verhoeven on RoboCop. So I feel like Neumeyer must have a pretty good eye for satire, since both this film and RoboCop are essentially making fun of the things that they're tacitly about. Law enforcement in the case of RoboCop, and corporatism and militarism and Starship Troopers.
It's a classic Detroit biopic. Love it.
Yeah. Neumeyer apparently had to explain most of the adaptation stuff to Verhoeven, since Verhoeven thought the book was so bad he couldn't even finish it. He read like 2 chapters and he's like, "This is garbage. This is Nazi shit. I grew up with this. I don't need to read any more of this." So he's like, I'm just gonna make a movie that makes fun of all of this. So Neumeyer pretty much had to do all the adaptation himself on that one. Let's see. Speaking of the kind of enrollment scene in when they all take their tests, they're getting placed in the various branches in the military. The guy who handles the recruiting paperwork and is shown to be missing both of his legs after revealing that mobile infantry made me the man I am today. He actually is a double amputee in real life. Robert David Hall is the actor's name. He lost both of his legs in an auto accident. People may also recognize him. He was one of the medical examiners on CSI. he stands still in a lot of scenes, but you can also see him walking on his prosthetic legs in various scenes in CSI. So interesting little bit there.
You're gonna say he was like double amputee from Vietnam
for fighting the bugs.
Yeah. Oh, I mean the Vietnamese. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah.
There's a couple also differences with the adaptation. Michael Ironside's character as Rashak is basically a composite of 3 characters in the book. Rashak himself, and also Jean Du Bois is a character who's in the book who actually is kind of the social studies teacher for Rico back in high school. He only appears in flashbacks and stuff like that. And there's another character, Sergeant Jalal, who takes a lot of the role that Ironside does in regards to mentor Rico and stuff like that. So in the book, he's kind of like a composite of 3 different characters. They all rolled it into Michael Ironside's character. The book's almost entirely asexual. There's no romantic plots with Carmen and Dizzy. They're just other characters who are mentioned. There's also another alien species in the book that they refer to as the Skinnies, who are a kind of more humanoid race that switch from being allies with the bugs to later being allies with the humans. There's a lot of subtext to suggest that both Skinnies and bugs are essentially like epithets they use to dehumanize the other side. If people are familiar with The Expanse, I don't know if this is an actual conscious adaptation, but the term skinny is also used as an epithet in that show to describe people who live in the asteroid belt, since they're supposed to be tall and lanky and stuff like that. But that show also has space Mormons, so I can't rule it out. Like Starship Troopers, so there might be some crossover there.
I never noticed that until like this watching that that it was like space Mormons going to colonize another planet.
Yes. Yeah, and they get wiped out by the bugs.
Yeah, which was a weird, like, it seemed like a real odd drive-by for them to do that. I don't know. Maybe it's smarter commentary than I picked up on, but yeah.
Maybe I wasn't totally sure until it came up again in The Expanse. I was just like, there's a big thing for space Mormons here, so I don't know what's going on there, but I guess they're just really into space colonization.
Yeah.
And we mentioned it in the Aliens Rewatchables, but a lot of the military stuff from the book gets incorporated into James Cameron's vision for Aliens. The drop ships, the bug hunt, the powered armor mech loader kind of thing. That was one thing that we didn't get from the book, or that we didn't get in the film that does appear in the book, is that the Marines are supposed to have much more like this like powered armor super suits and stuff that they wear. That would have been cool, but it would have been very expensive and tough to pull off, probably even with the CGI. Like that probably wouldn't have been great CGI. But a lot of that stuff, military science fiction in general, owes a lot to the novel. So even if, like me, you don't really like its politics, the influence is very apparent in games like Doom and Halo, across genre and other novels, and probably I would say like most notably in the entire Warhammer 40K universe. Is a lot of that Space Marine stuff is very explicitly modeled on Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing with the powered armor, so soldiers in the book, like one soldier in power armor is covering a large amount of ground themselves. So from that aspect, it's more visually appealing for film if you've got a whole bunch of people running to do things, and it's a lot more visually striking, as opposed to here's one dude on the bounce in his power armor, just look, a bug hole, drop a nuke down. Oh, here's another one, drop a nuke down, and there's not another soldier within a 10 square mile block of him. Like that's what he's responsible for. So there's a whole visual aspect there as well.
So, yeah, Heathen's right. I'm glad the only ones wearing Rika's small amount of armor this film. Let's all put on our heavy armor that the bugs can chew through like it's nothing and just stick us with their harpoons.
Yeah, it's not like they weren't wearing armor. It's just it didn't do anything like against the bugs. Ace Viper
Like,
said,
why is Disney even wearing armor if that's not going to protect her from the literal one thing it's supposed to do? She's not watching from behind, and a bug just fucking skewers her.
Nah, that's only if you fall down, you're protected. That's basically what the helmet is for. Ace Viper said, why don't talk about the Chicago 7 riots, people writing about the Vietnam War, saying it's unjust? Mostly because we talk about a different movie. But
we can get to that in a different podcast. People want me to talk about that.
yeah, I haven't actually seen it. My wife was watching it, and I was kind of listening to it in the background, and yeah, it seemed like a very good movie. So, if you haven't seen it, like me, go out and watch it, but not right now. Watch us first, then go watch it. Right? Did you have any?
Armor.
Yes.
Probably a good segue to number 9. Probably unanswerable questions.
Yeah.
Okay, my question: where the hell were the fire bats? They needed fire bats to defend that goddamn base at the end. You got all these fucking zerglings creeping up on you. You need your fire bats, man. Come on.
You can't just go all Marines and bunkers, dude.
No,
Everybody knows that.
You have to have at least 1 or 2 fire bats in that bunker. Doing the thing.
What's a fire bat?
Steve-O is
StarCraft.
Steve-O's just like, what the fuck you guys doing right now? Okay.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna have at least 2 fire bats, man. You guys agree with me? I do.
You're fired from your own podcast.
Shit.
I figured there would be at least 1 or 2 other people in chat that would catch the reference, and I knew DK was going to. So, fuck you. I do this podcast for myself sometimes.
You
so
do you, bro.
It's fine.
You do you.
Nerds, I'm sure there are a few people who got it. Ducky gets it.
I have really important questions.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll save mine for the end.
Okay, so I've got my fire bats, and then what? So final battle. They go, ships are all up there to do the drops. Y'all motherfuckers know that the bugs at this point, the bugs are intelligent and are going to be, firing shit up at you.
Borealis.
Why the fuck are all the ships in just nice little neat rows
Together.
so that it's all put together to just give them this, like, hey, let's just shoot these motherfuckers up here. What in the actual fuck? Like, drop drop your shit. Get the fuck out. You know that there's defensive fire coming. It's fucking bullshit.
Space isn't
They're
that
making
big.
a defensive perimeter. They don't have spaceships.
Yeah. Space isn't infinite, my friend. All right, they only have limited amount of space to be in. It's battle formation. They were doing a quick triple. Fuck, I can't even remember the name of it. Damn it. Triple flip 3 keys.
Thing.
Yeah. So yeah, why do they just park themselves in orbit and sit there to get shot at? Good question.
Smart.
Probably unanswerable.
Yeah.
Because they're not that smart. Let's be honest. The Sky Marshals, they might not know what they're doing.
Yeah,
That's
seems like
fair.
the bugs are smarter than the humans, right? That's a big brain bug. Big brain bug.
Maybe. With his mouth butthole.
With his mouth butthole. Did you have any more, Than?
Those were my 2 mains, so I'll let you guys talk for a little bit.
You got 1 for 1, DK? How many you got?
Okay. Let's see. I have at least 4. I have 6 total.
Okay, I got.
But some of these may be crossover.
Yeah, I got 3.
One. So, how exactly did the Roughnecks save Rico on Clendathu?
Yeah,
He's left
that bug's
behind.
like, yeah.
He's injured.
Plot-
He's got basically
plot
no
armor.
ammo, and then he's in the regen tank.
Maybe his armor
Well-
actually worked.
Maybe. But what happened? Especially since the official reports still list him as KIA rather than MIA. Like, if he got saved, that should have been noted somewhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because they all knew who saved him. They were like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy saved you. What's his name?
Ratchak?
Ratjabs.
Yeah.
Old Ratjabs.
They all say Ratjack in the film, but it's actually spelled like a Czech spelling. RASCZAK.
All right. That's a good question. That's a very good question. What I want to know is, and we asked this during the film, why did they wait so long to take evasive maneuvers from the meteor?
Yeah.
They waited.
Oh shit! There's a meteor.
They're like, oh no, and then they're like, well, we're gonna wait till it almost hits us, and then we'll smash that button and fly down reverse. I don't understand. You have all of space. Oh, space isn't that big, as we just discussed.
Apparently.
But you you have all of space that you could have been in to move out of the way of that giant ass meteor. Why'd you wait till the last second? That guy.
Well, remember this. This did come out the same year as Titanic. They're just not good at not running into things in 1997.
Apparently. And had you moved sooner, maybe your communications array wouldn't have been fucked, and you could have, communicated back to Earth that, hey, y'all about to be fucked.
Well, they were saying, so I can't remember, Glader and Steve were having a discussion during the movie that, like, if Carmen had never never changed the course that they were on, then they would never have been hit by the meteor, which means they would have probably caught the meteor on some sort of radar. Surely they have a radar.
What radar?
Yeah.
What radar?
the
I can't see a
radar
fucking
is...
rock coming at him until it's 10 meters away from him.
So up in that communications tower, they just have a dude with some binoculars just like looking around in space trying to find things. But he was on break, so, and then they could have warned Earth, but they didn't, so,
But not so much.
Yeah. Just in general, I kind of had that question, like, how exactly do the bug meteor weapons work? Like, I mean, they have to travel super, super long distances. We can see, like, Clendathu's on the other side of the galaxy, pretty much, from Earth.
Well, they fit their meteors with light speed, right?
It's not traveling faster than light there. They clearly don't have FTL. I mean, the Roger Young's able to just, like, dodge out of the way.
Yeah, Yeah, except binoculars, man, didn't see it, so it must be traveling faster.
He didn't do his job.
Yeah.
He was also trying to get some when he was supposed to be working.
Yeah.
Like our old man Xander.
I want to know why, when they're all standing around at the end with the brain bug, why no other arachnids were anywhere near them. Surely, because like in the big K battle scene at the base, there was like, thousands.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a lot of them got taken out by the nuke, but even so.
Yeah, even so, that's the brain bug. You would assume.
Yeah, that's like you have one job.
Yeah.
Arachnids.
You protect the brain bug. Yeah. I loved how the brain bug like Cleopatra'd into the cave on the little bugs. I love that shit. It's awesome.
And speaking of, how does them capture the brain bug? Like that and the Rico rescue, these are things we want to see. Don't just fucking off-screen that shit.
No, we want to see the guy, I can't remember his name, at the end with the nuke in the cave lying down.
Watkins?
Oh, Glader, that is a good answer. You said it wanted to be captured.
Maybe.
Big brain bug move.
Maybe
that's what that is.
Yeah. That is. It just couldn't wait to get probed by Barney Stinson.
Yeah. Weird, gaunt SS Barney Stinson. Carl!
Glader says, hang on, Glader says it's actually explained in the third film that it wanted to be captured.
Nobody wants to hear it, Andrew. Nobody wants to hear about your third film.
Yeah, that's right. You can't explain something in a film in a different film unless you're in the MCU. Alright? I asked this...
Starship Troopers cinematic universe. Apparently.
I asked this earlier. Why can't anyone tackle in the football game? That really bugged me. It bugged me a lot.
This is my thing. And I wonder, how does the future metal football game thingy work? Like, why aren't they allowed to tackle? And also, what is the points like? Because like their touchdown or their try or whatever you're going to call it, it's worth 5 points. You see 2 times, somebody scores, 5 points go on the scoreboard. The scores are not in multiples of 5s. How else do you score? These are things that are just bothering me. I need to know. These are the little things that keep me up at night.
Maybe Dizzy got like safetied or something. I don't know. But there's a good reason why arena football keeps going out of business. It's because nobody can tackle for shit. Good luck, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Lay some more on us, DK.
So yeah, we had some similar things regarding that. Yeah, I also need to know more about the football game. One that I had an unanswerable question, but then I kind of thought of an answer for it. which is why doesn't Ratchak use a cool prosthetic metal arm all the time? Like, why is he just, hitting Rico with his stump in the middle of class, but then he doesn't?
Rico.
Then he goes back to the army and he's got his cool metal hand. But I feel like maybe part of the message there is that the Federation really doesn't give a shit about your disabilities unless you need that to make you combat effective. So maybe that's supposed to be like the subtle commentary there. Like, oh, that's fine. If you're just working a desk, we're not going to give you prosthetic legs. If you're just teaching high school, you don't need a prosthetic arm.
Yeah,
we're saving that for the soldiers.
We'll give you a prosthetic arm so that you can stamp the paperwork, but you don't need to be walking around. Not for what you, sir.
That was a good point. Yeah, he also had a metal arm, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
The intake guy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's a good question. What I want to know is why did Rewatchables think that it was so much worse to live out his days as a paraplegic than being asked to be killed then and there? Because clearly he's already living his life without the use of one of his arms, and all that happened was his legs got ripped off. So he probably could have survived that, but he was just like, kill me.
Given the other injuries we've seen, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But that wasn't...
Yeah, like, I get he didn't want to be captured by the bugs, but I'm like,
they
he's
got him out
right
of the
there.
hole.
You literally just pull him out of the hole and put him in the ship. Like, the ship's already there.
Yeah, I mean,
that doesn't
pull
make
him
sense
out
either.
of the Sarlacc pit, and then, he'll be sweet.
It's fine.
Here's the biggest question I have. Why doesn't Rico ever get helmet hair? Ever. Not even once. Throughout the whole film.
26th century hair product.
What product does he use? Like, does he have prosthetics in his hair? Are they government issued? Don't know.
They're all hair plugs.
I mean, maybe Ratchak's like, I'm going to get this dude. I'm going to get Dizzy Lay, but he's got to look good while he does it. And, gives him special hair product. Anyway, have you got any more?
I feel like the one that we're all just overlooking is, why the fuck is Dizzy in love with Rico? She's way too good for him.
Way too good for him.
And it's super obvious that he's not into her at all. I get Casper Van Dien's a good looking guy, but Dizzy, honey, you can do better.
Yeah, this dude sucks at math. You don't want to go out with him. He got a 35%. What an idiot.
She had all his potential. She was going to be the fucking future Lady Tom Brady. And then she's just like, no, I'm going to join the army instead. This is why you put the penis up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Just
you
Dizzy,
gotta
come on.
Put the penis up on a pedestal. Number 12, get back in the game. Boom. Yeah, way better. Heathen mentioned about the reloading. Why does nobody reload in this movie? Why do they have infinite ammo?
They did twice.
Yeah.
They did twice.
Twice in the same scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I'm out suddenly.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. What caliber are these bullets? The clips are like this big, by the way. And they're firing for like 5 minutes on full auto fire.
They're actually using like real nice looking airsoft guns, which is why it takes so many shots to kill a bug.
Clearly, because I mean, we see the bullets when the soldiers are like handing them out to the kids.
They're
in the
fucking
propaganda
huge.
film. Like, those are some serious ass bullets. You can't fit those in an itty bitty clip here. They're reloading like every 2 seconds.
There was one kid like straight up just pocketed the bullets as soon as they were given out in the park. They were like, yoink. Save that for later. All right. Number 10. She loves Rico for no reason because it's written by men. Exactly right. Men are dicks.
Correct answer.
Yeah, she's the best
right
character in this film, better than everyone. Gonna just put it out there. She's way better.
We're equal opportunity on this show. Both the best and the worst characters in the film are the women.
You know what?
we're pro Dizzy. We're anti Carmen.
I'm just gonna put it out there. Her and Carmen should have got together. Perfect couple.
Yeah, you got the athletics and you got the brains. They'd be unstoppable together. They're good at math. They can fly spaceships. They have leadership.
Yep, perfect. They can run
let Disney and Carmen mesh.
A flip keyhole 6, and number 10.
Yeah, we have the That Guy award. People who appear in tons of TV and film, but most people don't know their name.
Clancy
Brown.
It's
that guy from. Yeah.
I mean, yes. So this is one of those that, for me, it's Clancy Brown and Michael Ironside. Now, I happen to know who those two people are because, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people just go like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I recognize that guy's face from insert movie here. So, I mean, so even though I know who they are and am relatively familiar with their respective bodies of work, I still feel like for most people, like, that's who they're going to look at in this film as, oh, it's that guy.
If that's the case, though, pretty much everybody in this film, other than maybe Neil Patrick Harris, is that guy.
Yeah.
Yes, that's definitely fair, because nobody in this movie, I mean, everybody in this movie that's in a leading or semi or either a leading or a supporting role. Fuck, I forgot the word there for a second. If you look at their IMDb pages, like, they are active, either actors or actresses. Like, they are consistently working. It's not necessarily big projects, but they're character acting in a couple of episodes of a series here, or they're doing a small movie there, and but it's very consistent over time. So yeah, I get you could make the argument that it's literally almost everybody that's a leading or supporting character in this movie is it's that person.
Yeah, I don't. Is Dina Meyer a that guy / that gal, or is she Dina Meyer? I mean, she's been in a ton of stuff. I really like Dina Meyer.
I don't recognize her at all, aside from her in this.
So early on, I mean, this is a deep cut, probably not something that you would recognize. She was a recurring character in early seasons of 90210.
Yeah, I did read that.
She guessed it on Friends as an actress that Joey was dating in a few episodes.
Yeah.
Which, ironically, kind of a similar plot line to the Rico Dizzy love triangle, because he's clearly super in love with her and she's not into him at all. So it's like the opposite. She was the lead actress for both Dragonheart and Johnny Mnemonic, which were big-ish films in the 90s. I mean, they're at least high-budget films in the 90s, so those were probably like her big leading role type things she had. I would say, like, if she's best known for something, though, it might be the Saw movies. Because I think she's in like the first 4 Saw movies as one of the detectives. I only ever saw the first 2 Saw movies, I think. I don't know that she ever really like broke through all the way, though.
Thank you very much, Nate, for that gift sub. What a way to come into the chat.
He's gifted a total of 69 subs.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So Clancy Brown.
We're all such children.
Clancy Brown was actually by that guy from Aliens, because it wasn't until then that I knew.
You mean Highlander?
You totally mean Highlander.
Highlander, yes.
Yeah.
Shockingly, he was not in Aliens.
Should have been, goddammit.
Should have been in Aliens.
Yeah. Because like from then, prior to that, he was the guy from Shawshank Redemption for me. He was that dude.
I think that's probably what he would be. If you had to narrow it down for somebody, that would probably be what most people would say they recognize Clancy Brown from Shawshank.
I did have Jake Busey in here as well, because I recognize him only from The Frighteners, but he's been in so much more than that, and is also like a Busey, not a Busey. He is last name is Busey. All right, I wasn't putting a fun spin on something serious.
No.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Abusive. Abusey is not a word, so.
Yeah, it's like abuse, but like funner. Jake was great in Contact as well. Never saw Contact, I don't think. The Frighteners.
Yeah, I think we'll get to that in Apex Mountain. Right, the Frighteners is good. Early Peter Jackson piece. I like the Frighteners.
Oh, so good. Such a good film. Got me score of 12. Right. Anything else with that?
We also have Seth Gilliam, aka Sugar Watkins, the other guy in the Roughnecks.
The guy who dies in the cave.
Yeah, who blows himself up with a nuke. So I had kind of a that guy moment when I was recently rewatching The Wire, and I could not place him, but yeah, he's Carver in The Wire.
In The Wire.
Yeah, he's really good. Ellis Carver's a really good character in The Wire. I don't watch Walking Dead, but my guess would be that's his best known role, just from looking at his IMDb, since he was in kind of the later seasons. That yeah, I'm not familiar with
I
that,
didn't
but
get out of the prison.
yeah, I knew who because when I was watching the Wire, I'm like, I know who that is. I know who that is.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, he's the guy from Starship Troopers.
There's
So
also
that was enough for me.
the guy from the boot camp, who was the guy that Rico had to go and get his paperwork back off. I can't
Dean
remember.
Norris.
Huh?
Dean Norris is who you're talking about?
Yeah,
The commanding officer at the boot camp?
Yeah. So like I can't remember his name, but he's been in a bunch of stuff. I'm like, oh, it's that guy from like Breaking Bad. And
yeah, probably most people would say he's the guy from Breaking Bad. But he was also in Total Recall, as I mentioned earlier. He's one of the mutants on Mars. So he's also in that other Paul Verhoeven film.
That guy from Under the Dome. Don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. Dean Norris might just be Dean Norris, but yeah, I think most people think of him as, oh, that's Hank from Breaking Bad.
That's Hank from Breaking Bad, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Eric Briscotter, Breckenridge, the big guy who gets his face blown off in boot camp.
Medic!
Yeah, he's a guy who's always getting typecast as either like a jock or a bully type guy because he's just a bigger dude. Yeah, he's been in lots of high school or sports related stuff where he's always like a football player or something like that. He was in like the Wonder Years. He's in Major League 2 as I think the catcher in Major League 2. He's also in another one of my favorite 90s movies, Crimson Tide.
That's such a good movie.
Yeah, I love Crimson Tide. Great movie. Good submarine movie. But he's one of the dudes who gets in a fight with Danny Nucci about Silver Surfer comics. I remember from that role also. Yeah, so he was kind of that guy. I was like, oh yeah, he was that high school bully in the Wonder Years, or he was this guy or that guy, something like that. So somebody else saw that came out. All right, moving on.
Yeah, I think we've
Mountain.
Beat that dead horse.
Apex Mountain. Was this film the apex of anyone's career, or when they were at the peak of their powers?
I would say no. Like,
no?
Not a single one.
Actually,
maybe Casper Van Dien.
Yeah, I was gonna say Casper Van Dien. No question, 100% is Apex Mountain.
Yeah, this is
only because I don't know enough about him to know if he ever did anything else like noteworthy.
If you look at his IMDb, like after this, it's like again, you know, like everybody, in this sense, like they've been consistently working, but there's nothing else really that's like, you know, oh my god, this was A-list stuff, and like to this day, like Casper Van Dien is like, you know, he still basically trades on that he was Johnny Rico. Like that's his thing, and
is why this category is invented. This is total Apex Mountain.
He's like a Diet Coke, Jean-Claude Van Damme, is what he seems like. he's a Jean. He looks kind of like him, but is clearly not as talented as him.
Depends on by talented. He's not as martial arts talented.
Yeah,
I think he's maybe
better
a little better looking.
Do you think he's better looking than Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yes.
If I had to rank them,
I'm a sucker for a European accent, so you know.
No, if you say that I have to sleep with one of them, I'm choosing Casper Van Dien. In this, right. It's not even a question.
20 minutes of heaven for Dan.
Yeah. I am under obligation also from Erica to mention Casper Van Dien's cameo in many episodes of Con Man, which is a really great Alan Tudyk show. If people haven't seen it,
I've been meaning to see that.
It's really funny, but he has a lot of cameos. He's a bartender and he appears in the background in a lot of scenes and has like no lines for the first 8 episodes until like finally somebody goes to talk to him. But it's just very obvious. He'll like look up at the camera now and again, like, oh, there's Casper Van Dien, just the bartender in the background.
So weird.
And they have like a whole bit about it, so it's pretty good.
He has an important part in Sleepy Hollow as well, the Tim Burton one.
Quite say an important part. He doesn't really live that long.
Does he get his head chopped off?
He does.
Perfect.
In fact.
Perfect. Does he come back as a ghost? Named Casper?
he also plays a character who is the supposed.
I'm gonna let you
It was
Just gonna
so
breeze right-
obvious.
just
I
I'm just
do
gonna
knew.
breeze right through that one.
Yeah.
I knew. I
Yeah.
knew what you were gonna do,
Yeah, DK
and
didn't
it
even
still
slow
was
down.
painful.
No, I didn't want to acknowledge it, and then
You saw
I
the
had to
thumb
stop.
out. The thumb was out, and you were like, "No way!" In fact, you flipped
Nope.
them off as you went
Nope.
past.
Yes,
We're in a
in that movie.
We're in a prison area. We're not stopping for hitchhikers. Is pretty much what DK just did. Fuck.
He is also the love interest for somebody who is clearly not into him in Sleepy Hollow. So I guess that's just his lot in life.
Oh man, he's not a bad looking dude. I'm just saying, if Jean-Claude Van Damme had played that part, Carmen probably wouldn't have gone to war. Just putting it out there. She wouldn't have gone Korea.
Like, I'll wait for you, Johnny.
I'll
I'll wait for you.
Yeah, you kicked the shit out of that dude on the football field or whatever.
Speaking of him, Patrick Muldoon, Apex Mountain.
I don't know
I think it's
who
gotta be.
he even is. The dude
Xander.
seemed like he was like, honestly, 50 in this film. This is the end of his career, right? Like, he passed shortly after this, no?
He's been in a lot of sci-fi productions, especially.
Right. Yeah.
I just saw him at a panel. I guess now it's 2.5 years ago because
Was it for
But again, he was on a
Troopers?
panel for
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Hey
With-
kids, did you see my
Yeah.
movie? I played the other football guy. Yeah, probably then.
Yeah.
Probably that's his Apex Mountain.
Yeah. Denise Richards, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure
Wild
Wild Things
Things.
is her Apex Mountain
Yeah.
for reasons.
Multiple reasons. Yeah.
A great
There's at
Two,
least
in
two.
fact. Two
great
reasons.
scene.
Yeah.
Um,
Moving on.
The part of the videotape that always got worn out whenever people would rent it.
yes, that's getting fuzzy. Come fix the tracking.
Why is the table all messed up?
Yeah.
Bunch of
It's all
perverts.
stretched out. The audio gets weird. Number 12. Who won the movie? Denise Richards, clearly.
Oh. No, I was also going to say for Apex Mountain, though, Jake Busey, I would say yes.
For
19
Apex Mountain? Yeah.
Yeah, 1997, Jake Busey is in this, and he's in Contact, and this is, I think, right after he does The Frighteners. I think Frighteners was the year before. So those
This
three
is probably
together.
bigger.
Yeah, and Wikipedia, the font of all knowledge, even describes those as quote unquote as his most notable appearances. So I think that's got to be Apex Mountain for him.
That's fair.
Which is weird because he's so recognizable, but maybe it's just because he looks like Gary.
Yeah,
Yeah, Gary Busey.
he's a vertically stretched out version of Gary Busey.
A little bit.
Put your hand on that wall, cadet.
Yeah. So other than other than Carmen, who won the movie?
I mean, I think in the
Bugs.
long term, I mean,
The Bugs. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, in the long term, I think we as the audience win the movie with it just being this great satire, as long as you understand that it's a great satire and aren't actually taking it specifically seriously. Which again, DK, you've mentioned that you've had way too many instances where people are like, this would be utopia if we did it like this. No, you idiots, it's satire. That was super articulate, I know.
Yeah.
Super articulate.
Get off my lawn.
You would never know that I do talk for a living. But yeah, I
talk real purdy.
Yeah,
I do talk real purdy.
You got an ass mouth.
Um,
Buenos Aires
Well,
was the winner of the movie.
is this Apex Mountain for Buenos Aires?
Yeah. Zagaba Beach. Sounds like an awesome place I want to go. I can't remember what the name of it was.
Yeah, that should have been an unanswerable question. Why did the Bugs blow up Zegama Beach?
Yeah, what did they... Because
What's up with that?
Zagaba Beach is not on Earth, right?
That's
correct.
Yeah, because they talk about it's somewhere in the outer rings, and
Yeah.
then what's her face from the Roughnecks is like, it's not there anymore. Like,
Yeah,
why?
why?
Why did the Bugs blow that up?
Oh,
I
no,
mean-
it wasn't the bugs. COVID hit and nobody was allowed to travel, so...
or maybe the Federation got word that people were having too much of a good time there. They're like, no, that doesn't mesh with our militaristic aesthetic. No more vacations.
We're gonna have to stop talking about it, as they say.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So seriously though, who won the movie?
For me, I would say it's Paul Verhoeven with the writing assist from Ed Neumeyer. Because they took what I think was a really difficult adaptation that would have been, I would say, controversial if it had been more true to the material. And instead, they made it fun. It was a fun, turn your brain off movie that is funny and action-packed and has pretty good CGI scenes that hold up.
I think if you turn your brain off for it, though, then you miss out on some stuff. It's what I was saying at the start. Like, it's a very, like, smart, funny, clever movie wrapped in a mindless action wrapper. And because the first
Unlike
time
Michael Ironside, it has legs.
Brilliant.
There.
Brilliant.
Oh, great. DK just murdered both of us. That's
I should be canceled for that.
Fucking DK just won the movie. I think Dizzy won the movie. She got to finally have sex with the guy. You know,
truly the apex mountain for Dizzy.
That's right.
Well, although that in and of itself is kind of a nice flip of the standard, sci-fi action movie trope where it's the guy, with the unrequited, lust for,
the
woman,
friend zone is normally male dominated.
Yeah, so yes, obviously he was pining after Carmen and whatnot, but it was kind of nice to again for a late 90s film, it's like, okay, well, so they're writing Dizzy essentially as what you could have written a male character like with that type of obsession.
I would love to have seen a male play that character with Rico still being a male, and eventually they get together. That would have been awesome.
Well,
maybe Rico really was lusting after Carl, and that's really why he joins the Federal Service, right? Maybe he didn't join up for Carmen at all.
Yeah,
maybe he was
like,
Carl.
I love you, and she was like, I love you, and both of them are just masking their feelings for Carl.
I mean, he's got that psychic connection with Carl. Well, you never know. You don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Also, how does Carl tell him where to find Carmen? If he knows where Carmen is, doesn't he know where the brain bug is? Why do they need the rest of these idiots to go find the brain bug? Carl's just like, oh, I know, it's over there.
Yeah, and like not just that, but he sent a bunch of them to their deaths to figure that out, right?
Yeah. Well, he like brags about that at Dizzy's funeral. He's like, oh yeah, I send thousands of people to their deaths for a living, and it's awesome because I'm not the SS officer.
It's what I do.
The SS stands for super smart. Is what that stands for. I'm a super smart guy. This is my super smart black jacket. Who did you have for this, Dan?
Honestly, I didn't really have anybody. I've just been kind of riffing with you guys on it. What DK? I'm sorry, your mic cut out, and we literally didn't hear you. Try again.
Said everybody wins.
I mean, yeah. Except for Dizzy. I don't know.
Yeah, Dizzy lost. Apparently, Carmen won. So we got the exact opposite of what we wanted.
Yuck. Yeah.
She gets to be a starship captain, and Dizzy is out there floating through space somewhere.
I had Michael Ironside. I don't know why I wrote that. Because, I think Zim won the movie, right?
Solid calls.
Didn't he win the movie? He was.
He literally won the brain bug.
Exactly, he won the brain bug. He got a gold star, and was like one of the he was the second best character in the whole film. First equal.
You can go that. Got himself busted down to private so that he could actually go out and fight.
Busted himself down to private.
In the
clear,
book,
obvious waste of his talent.
We're not talking about no book.
No,
I didn't go to a watch party of a book.
I know. I'm just saying. If I remember right, and it's been a long time. He literally like assaults a superior officer to get bumped down in rank so that he can go fight.
I would have loved to see that. He like
Yeah.
rips up the paperwork, and then punches Hank in the face.
Punches Dean Norris in the face.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, well, I got no choice to bust it down now. You know, what a twist!
Pretty much.
Twist ending. Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I felt like it was a good, fun adaptation of otherwise overly serious, I feel like not very adaptable material. But you know what? Supposedly they're trying another remake that's supposed to be more authentic to the book. I don't know. Maybe this is what Ben Shapiro is going to cast Gina Carano in this authentic remake to make all you PC beta cucks cry. I'm sure that will be great filmmaking over there.
Oh.
What a way to go out.
Oh.
And with that in the books, that's when the rewatchables.
DK like came around a second time and won the movie all over again. Yuck
Just
indeed,
quick-
Disco Stew.
This was a quick drive by Gina Carano's Twitter feed.
Is there fireball in that can? She can be carbon, I guess.
Oh,
Brilliant.
what an idiot.
Yeah.
Bless your career away like that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Some people. She was like, she's one of the people like, oh, that movie is the best way for society to be run. It's perfect. What are you talking about? All right.
Oof.
Sorry, I got canceled for saying that Sky Marshall Dean's was A+.
Tactically brilliant. Whatever.
Clearly tagging Clendathy was the right move. And if you libtard pussies would have done it right, we'd still would have come out on top.
Fucking yes, please. She makes Denise Richards look good. I guess.
Hey, we will not stand for anything that lifts Denise Richards up on this podcast, apparently.
Poor Denise. Poor Denise.
Leave Denise alone!
Yeah. Right. Thoroughly enjoyed this film. Thoroughly
For sure.
enjoyed the watch along last night. We should maybe look to do it at a time that's suitable for more people. It's really hard with time zones. Maybe you guys should hold a watch party for, Americans.
Stupid time zones.
Stupid time zones. What a bunch
Time
of
zones are the worst.
shit.
Bullshit.
Is there anything else that you guys would like to speak to close out this film?
I don't know. I think we've we've hit all the high points. We've hit some of the low points. We have beaten this dead horse bloody. I think we've covered everything that needs to be covered with this film at this point.
Yeah. We shouldn't go longer than the actual runtime of the film.
I mean,
so.
I think
Which we
we're
have.
already there.
We have.
Well, some of that we had to do announcements and all that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we didn't get into it until about 4:30, so I think we're good.
Hashtag NBA Top Shot. We're not going back to Clendathu. What second movie? What are you talking about? Right.
We don't know.
We have some shows coming up this week. I'll put another announcement out on the Discord. Tuesday, can't even sign up for NBA Top Shot. Should have gone in early, like this guy told everyone to. But whatever. Tuesday we have hopefully Laser Force Live. If I don't forget the little capture card again, that was really silly of me. Thursday we are back with Thunderdome Thursday. We'll be back next week for the podcast, and then we have a D&D session next week as well, I think. We have to talk to our beloved DM about that.
As far as I know.
Perfect. Yes, but keep an eye out on the Discord for updates and stuff. At some stage in the very near future, I want to set up a Resupply Wreckfest session. And the basic premise of that is if you have Xbox Game Pass for PC, which I think costs like $1 a month at the moment, you can get Wreckfest. I want to get a session of like as many people as we can to basically have a demolition derby. And maybe we'll have a leaderboard and stuff. I'll figure something out, but we'll turn it into some sort of event, and we'll run that during a weekend so that people have an opportunity to come and play as well. We'll stream everything. I don't think we'll have everyone on the mics. It'll probably just be me and maybe Gray, but we'll see. We'll figure something out. Maybe Al. I don't know. But for this week, I have been Guy Next Door.
Been DK.
And I've been Fan.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you next time.
Do a 3-hole.